Ashley Judd is feeling grateful. The 55-year-old took to Instagram on Saturday to share images from a trek she took on the Swiss Alps, reflecting on how far she has come since recovering from a major leg injury. Walking, Switzerland. After 5 breaks in right leg, a paralyzed foot, possible amputation, all while hemorrhaging, my leg and I have come far in 2.5 years since my accident in Democratic Republic of Congo. We came far up these Alps for the sheer joy of it, confidently. Ongoing gratitude of profound proportions to the Congolese who saved me, and the surgeons, neurologist, and physical therapist who set me up for this stunning recovery. How are you celebrating your blessings? The caption reads in part. Ashley revealed in 2022 that she had suffered another leg fracture over that summer, just a month after losing her mom, Naomi Judd. While on an open mind lecture with UCLA professor Dr. Jonathan Flint, she spoke about the details of the injury, which happened less than 2 years after she suffered a catastrophic injury while hiking in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2021.
Healthy boundaries are essential for good mental health. That I really have to, that self-esteem comes from within, that my identity is something that has to be self-generated and self-validated. And as my many taught me, 33% of the people are going to love me no matter what I do. 33% of the people really don't care. And 33% of the people aren't going to like me no matter what I do. And that globally, it's none of my business what other people think of me. You know, it's between the God of my understanding and me. And, my core values are really set with my most intimate friends, my closest advisors, like a spiritual director or a sponsor, mentor type of person who knows me and knows my heart and knows my soul. And that the rest of it is just static. And so that's really what I've learned by being in the media, and I can't take care of myself and another person's feelings at the same time.
I mean, can you give us a specific example of this? So in the work that you've done in film, for example, have there been cases where you've found it just overwhelming with the attention that you've been getting?
Well, I can give a really vulnerable example right now, for example, because, I've always enjoyed being very fit. I'm an athlete. I'm a half marathon runner. I am a backpacker. I climbed a lot in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park and the Alps. And since I broke my leg in 4 places and paralyzed my foot, and then I actually had another fracture over the summer, which I haven't told anybody about until now. I had a condyle fracture in my femur, which was unrelated and just this freak accident, and then since my mom and everything, I've put on some weight, and I'm sure people are talking about it, but I don't pay any attention to it because I know it's a temporary condition and the weight will come off when it is supposed to, because it's none of my business what people think of me. It's an experience I'm having as a 54-year-old woman. And I put some pictures on Instagram at my sister's concert. And I'm sure that there's a cohort of people who are being vilely ugly about it. And it is absolutely none of my business. I have a healthy boundary about it. But I also know that misogyny is a real thing in our culture. And you try being a once ultra fit woman who's 54 and put on some weight, that is going to spark some very sexist conversation by both men and women and others in our culture.
Well, given what you've told us and your ability to cope with what for most people would be sort of crushing disasters, I'm pretty certain that you'll manage to get over this as well. But your story about another fracture and happening, it reminds me of the work that was done some years ago, examining the records of an insurance company to look at drivers who wrecked their cars. And a pattern emerged that there were some drivers who were just reporting many, many more accidents than others. And the idea that accidents were happening randomly turned out not to be true. Which of course you can imagine, because we all know people who drive recklessly because of their personality, which reflects their genetic makeup. But in your case, the sorts of disasters that are falling you do indeed seem to be completely out of the blue, and it's an extraordinary bit of things. I'm sorry for you. I wish I had a way of preventing these sorts of things, but I think you need to have divine abilities to stop that. I'm so sorry, Ashley.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway,
It healed in 2 months, lickety split. It was what it was. And clumsiness is associated with grief, and there were other people in our family after mom died who fell downstairs and had accidents. And, that's just what mine happened to look like. And it really allowed me to grieve. It really allowed me to stop what I was working on at the moment and to grieve.
Ashley has been open about her past injury. Here is everything you need to know about the horrific ordeal.
But when I got to South Africa, my leg didn't have a pulse and I was hemorrhaging. And if I had been medevac to Europe, I would have bled to death.
Ashley Judd is looking back at her catastrophic injury in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, revealing that she, quote, would have bled to death if she had been transported to Europe. The 53-year-old actress shattered her right leg in 4 places during a hike in the jungle in February 2021. The humanitarian was there on a research trip. While talking to Kate Roberts on her podcast Sex, Body, and Soul, she said she barely survived the 55-hour rescue and detailed her immense pain.
I don't know how the mind and the body and the soul come together to manage to endure the unendurable. I bit a stick, I screamed, I howled, I convulsed. I never did pass out. I wished that I could.
Ashley said she was lying on the forest floor for 5 hours before someone was able to find her, reset her bones, and carry her in a hammock, quote, over hills and through a river. From there, she rode on a motorcycle for 6 hours until she got somewhere where she could be flown to a hospital.
I was in a hospital in South Africa about 9 days, and then I was medevaced to Tennessee. But when I got to South Africa, my leg didn't have a pulse and I was hemorrhaging. And if I had been medevac to Europe, I would have bled to death.
During the candid interview, Ashley revealed how the accident changed her.
And I think it showed me that all the work I've done and the development of my meditation practice and how hard I've tried to heal, that really was with me throughout those 55 hours. And this doesn't make me good, right, and perfect. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but there was a certain grace that stayed with me.
She said meditating helped her shift her perspective on the situation.
I knew that I couldn't have expectations, for example, about when I might get help or if there would be a painkiller or anything, and I just had no expectations. And I knew that I could only do it one breath at a time. And, I was able to say please and thank you and may I have a drink of water. And I didn't make it anybody else's fault. And I didn't take it out on the people around me. And I also could remember things like, my higher power shows up in the people around me and wears skin. And that people were offering me everything that they had was just their presence. And it was their compassion and their empathy.
Since the tragic incident, Ashley has started to walk again. In January, she celebrated the anniversary of the accident with a 25-mile hike in the Appalachian Mountains. She also revealed that she wants to return to the Congo.